Both Russia and Ukraine used decoys on the battlefield to attract enemy fire and waste ammunition. However, it is difficult to create traps that are convincing enough to deceive the other party. Yugoslav forces faced similar struggles in the Kosovo War, trying different tricks to fool NATO jets. Russia is deploying dummy tanks, Ukraine reminiscent of tactics seen in a war just over 3 decades ago. But making them convincing could be a challenge. Perhaps even more so than the past drone footage posted on Telegram last month by a group affiliated with Ukraine's 116th Mechanized Brigade showed what appeared to be inflatable Russian T-72 tanks in a field. By zooming in close to bulging tanks in video, drone's operator seemed to realize tanks weren't real. The group warned Ukrainian forces that they must be careful not to waste ammunition. The apparent fake weapons are latest example, the use of decoys in war in Ukraine, where both sides have produced a range fake weapons, some better than others. They are also latest in a long history of placing decoys on the battlefield to deceive enemy. The gun crew of Portuguese Air Force detachment deployed Aviano Air Base in Italy in support of NATO's Operation Allied Force. Signals the pilot to stop everything while preparing aircraft disarm. March 26, 1999. Following a mission over Yugoslavia. Mich Fuqua USAF during 1998–1999 Kosovo War. Armed conflict between Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. Kosovo Liberation Army that ended when NATO forces intervened in response. Overwhelming evidence of humanitarian crimes and ethnic cleansing against Albanian population. Serb troops along with Yugoslav forces used fake S to deceive NATO aircraft. They got creative in their attempts produce tanks, weapons systems. NATO air forces prioritized an aerial armament campaign against Yugoslav troops called Operation Allied Force that lasted for more than 2 months. The airstrikes were devastating and ultimately led to the withdrawal of the Yugoslav armed forces. Towards end of the war, NATO pilots claimed successful hits on tanks and artillery almost every day. But after war, some of these targets turned out to be decoys. According to New York Times at the time, tanks were made of wood and plastic sheeting and wrapped in camouflage netting. One of biggest surprises was extent which Yugoslav army was able to use ground decoys hit bogus targets. A senior Defense Department official told Times. Unable to outmaneuver NATO's superior airpower, Yugoslav forces took extra steps to make their fakes credible. Soldiers place metal objects, such as tape or plates, in the sun, heating them enough to create fake heat signatures. Even trays of water heated by sunlight were placed inside fake tanks, giving the impression that there was a crew in tank and that it was in working order. In some cases, water containers were found inside traps and cleverly placed to warm under the sun to help replicate infrared signature of a vehicle or